Should. Being
Should.
the operative word here today. Yesterday Twitch wasn't working at all for Drew, so he was like, I gotta cancel stream. I was like, meh. It happens, not a big deal. You know, like...
Yeah.
Things like that happen. Not to worry. Not to worry. It says we're live.
Oh, great. All right.
I can't believe it. We are live.
We are.
So
We're
it's
a little
funny.
late, but that's okay.
We're late because of mother stuff, though.
That is really appropriate. So, Mothers of Geeks, episode 7.
7.
7. All right. I'm gonna grab this bad boy tonight.
You do it.
Welcome to Mothers of Geeks, the podcast where we geek out, mom out, talk about life, our kids, what we're geeking about, and, you know, whatever happens to come to mind. My gorgeous co-host is...
Trey. Today with Black Rose lipstick of awesomeness.
And it's gorgeous and I'm buying some.
Yeah, you should. It's definitely worth it.
I am Heather, and I am actually tonight wearing Elf again. It's the ruby red because I was wearing a really pale color all day, and that does not work for podcasting.
Yeah, it's. I didn't even have makeup on today because I didn't go to work today until I just worked from home. So I
Right.
actually get makeup on for you guys, which is really hard for me to do.
There's going to be someday we're going to show up on the stream like, who are those two? Oh, yes.
They definitely
Literally,
forgot their
we
makeup
were
today.
Working from home.
Hey, it's okay though. It works. It works out. So episode 7, which is crazy, which means 7 weeks you've been working on the show. That's awesome to me.
Granted, we did also start talking about it a few months ago. I think within 2 weeks of becoming friends, we're like, yeah, we should do a podcast because we get along far too well and we have stuff to say.
And it'd be so much fun. And it is
Right.
so much fun.
And thank you guys for joining us on this adventure.
Can't be 7 weeks. It is 7 weeks city. This is the adventure of a lifetime.
Is. All right, so before we get into our topic of the week, which is another show or question from a friend of the show. Hey, Trey.
Hey, what?
How have you geeked out this week? Or how have you geeked this week?
We had Friday D&D,
We did.
which was so much fun.
God.
Things happened to the point of just like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even listen to the show when it comes out, which I need to get downloading them and putting them out. But oh my God, listen to the show.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
I wrote things down in my Rocket book that are just completely out there.
Yeah. And I'm listening to last week's right now, or the week before last.
Mm-hmm.
The game before last. We're not in Kansas anymore, and I'd like to know why when the world goes to hell and back, A, how much of that did we cause?
A lot.
I'm feeling really guilty. And B, why the hell is that godforsaken country that my character is from still standing?
Of course.
The sole spot of civilization, and it's friggin' they.
Yeah, and the game was so intense, and it drew a lot. Like, for my character, it's going to really challenge everything that happens next with her.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the guys listen, which is totally... I mean, Al knows a lot of what I'm going to say right now, but my character is neutral good, and she is the only good character in the group, which is hard. And I'm not a general good person like that. Like, that's not my branding of me. Maybe it was chaotic with it.
Yeah.
But to have an innocent killed in front of her is a lot. And to claim that it's to help with power is a lot more. And it's going to be, I mean, Addie's going to be like, this is it. This is my line. And if you cross it again, I'm thinking of using the line, just turn me into a fucking tree then. Here, I'll take my armor off. It'll be easier for you.
And I definitely think we need to sit down and figure out, and I understand, as a player, and I understand why he did it as a player, and part of, with the bow and it is balance and all that. But we're gonna need to sit down as a party and figure it out. There was a lot of party tension.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, character party tension.
Yeah, out of game we're totally fine. Like I totally
Exactly.
get what happened and why, but jeez, oh man,
Yeah.
in game my character's so broken as it is.
Right,
And
right.
then she yelled at people twice.
Which she doesn't do.
No, she's a good person.
She's a good person.
This really hurts.
Yeah, it was. Props to Drew. It was one hell of a game. Oh my god! And we had 2 of those in a row. We had 2 of those
Yeah.
where we're like, "What the hell's happening?"
So
And when bringing back a character from the dead is not the most interesting thing that happens in a game, that's pretty freaking crazy.
too bad I didn't get to have a troll use it up his rectum.
I told you I could have been a troll.
I know you were hysterical.
She was really.
Addie went all like mother hen. Shut up, sit down, and let me do my job.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Broken.
That's pretty much all I really geeked. I mean, we got a new game, that Divinity 2, which is really fun.
Yeah. You guys have really seemed to be enjoying that a lot.
And it's fun. I only played it like 2 nights, but I've been like really tired. Games like that make me tired, and not in a bad way, but like they're so storyline relaxation. When I'm playing pub, I am on, and you have to be on.
Your release,
Right? You
that's
have
also
to be.
You're
on,
like, my day sucked. I'm gonna kill shit.
which is pretty much every day.
Yeah. Oh, but you have help now.
I have help now. However, today, Heather knows, and you guys might not know this, but I am the CAO of my group. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer. I basically manage all the HR, all the budgeting, all the finance, every person aspect of my group. I got asked today to book a car for somebody.
Oh,
I was like, we have an admin. Ask them. Well, they don't know how to do it. Teach them. It's super simple. We ready?
holy hell!
Send the IM you sent me with all the what to do to them.
That is rude and insulting.
I was like, what? I even sent it to my helper. I was like, what the fuck? Who does things like this?
Yeah, that's effing acceptable.
Yeah. So I was mad today. It's mad today at work. Angry day.
Yeah.
Angry day. So how have you
That's
geeked?
ridiculous.
Because we're on angry topics, not like good topics of geekiness.
So like you, not enough. We talked. So most of my regular games have been canceled for whatever reason. Like my DM on my Sunday game is in the middle of getting married. It was going to be moved to tonight, but then he has to go see the reception hall. And like one of the other players is also getting married in 2 months.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of marriage.
Yeah, it is. So I have a feeling that game's going to be canceled a lot just because of real life, which is fine. So yeah, there was lots of games canceled. My regular game tonight was canceled because of travel. So besides D&D, Friday, which was amazing, I haven't really done much gaming. Working on Cassidy's history, which means I have to learn about Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Which is hard.
Also, I am impressed that I can say the word apocalypse. I had a hard time saying it for a long time. Side note.
That's a weird a weird word to be able to not say.
Especially when you were a comic book fan in the 90s,
Yeah.
and the Age of Apocalypse was a huge deal.
Hey, you got it now. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. So I'm more like kind of just like looking back. I'm like, okay, the first change. When does that happen? All right. So she's a little more human-y than most werewolves. So let's, make sure we get that balance. Okay, now I'm having to have her get really mad at certain things, and yeah. So having fun with kind of learning as I'm writing.
That's the way to do it with World of Darkness.
It is, because if not, you're gonna. There's huge tomes. There's so many huge tomes, and I'm so sure that my curse is done. That I got dice.
And I'm so proud of you. They're beautiful.
Really pretty. So, deal on Amazon, 5 sets of dice with 10 dice each, for like $12.
That's nothing.
Yeah. So like, oh well, because when I was playing, I'm like, the dice weren't quite jiving for me. Granted, that was having to play 2 characters back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let me get Cass her own dice. Let me get Honey her own dice.
I'm happy Cass is gonna have her own dice. I'm excited to have her in the game.
Me too.
I think it's gonna
they
be fun.
kind of need a little bit of a balancing force in that game.
It's a very estrogen.
It's a sausage fest.
Estrogen. Let's put that in there. We
They
need
need some estrogen because right now it is a sausage fest.
It's all boys. Boys in the
all
hood.
boys.
Boys in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah. At least till Ty comes back, and then we can have, some bear estrogen and some estrogen and
Bear estrogen and werewolf estrogen.
shit, whatever. So yeah, they need
Women.
they do need women. So yeah, even if I did, and I listened to that again, and oh my god, I'm pretty sure I'm amazed I didn't
The
get my throat
group
torn out.
is really really broken, and
Right.
we're trying to build them back together, and that doesn't
Quite
always.
literally.
Exactly.
Literally.
We have arms missing. We have nubs.
Not anymore. They don't.
We had nubs.
There were nubs. And Sam bitching Cass out while
Fixing
twitching
nubs.
his little nub. Yeah. And the whole Cassidy thing was an accident. I really didn't intend it at all.
That's so funny to me.
And then I went to call her Cassidy. I'm like, oh, Cass. She would be Cass. People who are friends with. I'm like, oh, shit. I don't even watch Supernatural. And I really fell into Sam Dean and Cass without thinking about it.
It was so funny. When everybody realized it, they're like, whoa. Sam, Dean, and Cass. Which just means that I can go back to more episodes and pull fun content.
There you go. And I won't know what you're doing because I've never... It's on the list of things I have never got a chance to watch.
You need to.
I know. Well, all my friends are into it. And I know about it. And I'll tell you why I know about that in a few minutes. But yeah, I know about it. I make Supernatural headbands. I have to carry Supernatural products in the shop because people love it so much.
Right. It's an obsession.
It is.
A beautiful one.
And they're pretty.
God, they're so pretty. They're so much prettier now than they were in season 1, and it makes me so sad that I had to start at the
Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty.
Yeah.
What geeked over this week?
Geeked over. Probably. Oh, Divinity 2. Geeking over a new game is fun. It's nice to have like another balance of a game. Mm-hmm. So I like that, like a non-shooter game. It's not like PUBG. It's not like that. Definitely excited about, like, we've talked a lot about D&D and where our characters are going.
Yeah.
And being probably the biggest noob D&D player on the team, I like reach out to people and be like, hey, or I ask stupid questions like, what would this person's alignment be? What does this mean when people do this?
Which is great. Oh, yeah. We had a really fun conversation about the MCU. That was great.
Yeah, we had a great time about that. And it's like, that's how I learned, though. Like, I don't know it, and I'm not going to pretend to know it. Actually, and that's good for in-game, I think, because not saying people metagame, but people do accidentally metagame all the time. Right. Everybody does it. It happens because you're like, I know this.
Speaking of which, I need to know if you have remove curse. Anyways.
To get rid of that con damage?
Oh, no. No, we need restoration for that.
I have that.
Oh, good. Yeah, that'll work.
City,
anyways.
Google if I can do the remove curse. That's who found out I had restoration.
No, you should have remove curse. I just didn't know if you had it. Anyways, I was redoing my character spells. Anyway, what have you geeked out over this week?
I just told you. That's all I did. It's your turn. You're geeking out.
Okay. So last night we went to U2, which was amazing. Had a great time. So kind of geeked over their play set and their set list and the stage and the lighting and the fact that even after being around for 30 something years, they're still such a dynamic band. Talking to Ryan about him, which was a lot of fun. And they started out, so like usually you're at a concert, like there's music in the background going on, and then the show's about to start. They play something that's not them really loudly.
Yes.
Which was interesting.
Yes.
And it was the Waterboys' Hole of the Moon, which is a great song. It's an old song, but here's the weird thing. My daughter is named for a character that I played back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. In a game.
Yes.
That character, imagine she was uptight. Anyways,
surprise.
But her significant other was a mutant that got his power from the moon.
Oh, really?
So the song described their relationship almost to a T. And so Ryan only knows it from a cover by Mandy Moore. I don't think she's heard the original. But she knows it quite well. So the song starts, and she realizes what song it is, and she's just smiling. And
That's
just,
adorable.
It was weird that it was that song, though. So that was neat. Geeked out over that. Got back into hiking.
I saw your pictures.
Yeah, which does not seem like it would be geeky, but my girlfriends are geeky. So this week it was my friend
Geeky
Kat
hikes.
and I, and we talked about D&D player dynamics, and like she's an RPer.
Yeah.
This is her first D&D campaign, but she used to be like an RPer in WoW and stuff like that, so she knows that piece.
Really?
Of it. Yeah. So she knows that piece, whereas like some of the other people have gamed before, but they've never really done the RP piece of it.
Right.
So
It's a different thing. It's different.
Yeah. So the kind of that balance. Like the great thing about hikes is because friends are geeks, we'll talk about a lot of stuff, and when there's a big group of us, inevitably the conversation turns to supernatural.
All the time.
Inevitably, we're like 4 or more of us are gathered, supernatural is going to come up.
That's crazy because you didn't even watch it.
Yeah, and so they'll go on, and I'm like, okay. I'm learning some of it by osmosis, and like I've heard like a lot of the really interesting ideas about like the heaven and the hell, the devils and angels,
Right.
Which seems like a really interesting mythology and a
It
little different
is.
than what we're used to. So that's how hiking is geeky.
Hiking is super geeky now.
Yeah, and then my buddy Mills and I. So you know how neither of us wanted to work today.
Yes.
It was a widespread thing.
Oh, it was contagious.
Because my buddy Mills IMs me today, and he's like, Mills is plays a character that's Hayes' father. So he IMs me today. He's like, I want to be rolling dice. I don't want to be here. Like, I agree. Here, make Cam run this module for us. I can't make him run anything, Mills. No,
like,
really,
what?
it'd be like my birthday present and my Christmas present and my wedding present. I'm like, fine, I'll send him the link to the module, see if he's interested. And I want to play this. I'm like, great.
That's
and you
awesome.
can play Sasha. I'm like, great. Like, so I go look at I should go look at minifigs. I'm like, that's a good idea. No, he's like a manager for my department.
That's amazing.
Which is even funnier.
That's
He's like,
amazing.
yeah, so he's like, yeah, I really want to, even though I'm not playing on a game that's a board, I want to find one that has, I want to find a minifig for Hades.
Yeah.
You haven't done that yet? Oh, I'll find one for you.
That's awesome.
It's much more interesting what we're doing. And then because I'm kind of streamlining her spells, I hand him lists. Like, what do you think about this? He goes, that's pretty good. That. I'm like, yeah, I need your approval, Dad, because I want to make sure the spells look good.
That's amazing.
So yeah, so we kind of geeked out. You and I geeked out over D&D stuff at work, and Mills and I did. So.
Oh, I guess I could say that Matt and I geeked out on D&D stuff at work too.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about D&D and just lots and lots of fun things. And his feelings on things.
Yeah.
Things you wouldn't expect to hear. You're just like,
really?
oh, head cocked. I did the puppy dog. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Well, the good thing is he actually is considerably more intelligent than his character is.
Considerably.
Yeah. Which is great.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So that was, it was interesting because I learned a lot about where his character's coming from and what he thinks. And
yeah.
Like, if you know him in game and you listen to us at all, he does not call my character Addie. He calls her Book Elf.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what's going on with that.
He's turned her into Addie.
Yeah. And same thing with, he's been starting to use real names.
Yes. And a lot of it's because of how she resurrected him, which is neat.
Neat. Okay.
Because she's like kind of proven herself to him, is what he's saying. And I, not like.
Then why am I still Magus?
He said you'll always be that.
Okay.
You're like,
Good.
fine.
Fine.
Fine. But it's neat to hear that.
Still mad that he said Savari was his only friend. Anyways.
Yeah, why did he say that?
Right?
I thought you were his only friend. I'm a little bit miffed.
Yeah.
I'm miffed for you.
And yeah. Like, really? Anyway, so that is really cool though. That's why
it's neat to know,
trying
like,
to call her Patty.
Yeah, instead of Book Elf.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, and I bought an Instapot.
Yes, you did. Have you played with it yet?
I did, but I made potatoes in it.
Okay.
They were awesome, and I used it as a slow cooker one day for chicken. It was delicious.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was awesome. Buy an Instapot. They're worth it. It's like cookers crack.
I know. You're Hey, it's geeky. It's technology.
Technology.
Any fun kid geeky stuff?
So, like, not even like kid geeky stuff. Probably more like update from last kid stuff. So we got. I said last time that Logan was having a lot of trouble with bed, and constantly like not wanting to sleep, not wanting to like, or waking up in the night and crying a lot. And we decided over the weekend to buy him a minion bed. Bought him a brand new twin. We were gonna get like the little tiny ones, you know, but we decided to get the twin, which I'm glad we did, because we were able to get him a minion comforter set, which he loves minions, which are so cute.
Cute.
So I'm like, okay, we're good on this. Well, everything was fine, and so he slept in it first on Sunday, and then Monday, and then last night. And last night at 2 a.m. I hear some yelling, and I'm like, oh no. So I walk in there, and he's screaming that monsters were getting him.
Oh gosh.
So from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I was in there trying to calm him down. And he'd fall asleep, and I'd get up to leave, and then he'd wake up and like scream, "You can't leave me, the monsters are going to eat me." And I was like,
no.
And then I started Googling, because like I'm at my wit's end. And it's like, reassure them. Okay, thank you, Dr. Spock. What else did it say? Oh, this is just a phase. Okay.
Great. How do you get through it?
It's a phase that will last from 3 to 9 usually. And I was like, what? 9? I'll be dead. I'll be dead on the side of the road. I won't be able to handle that.
Because people do need sleep.
Yes, a little bit, at least. So it was a rough night. I finally said to him, like, it was like 4 a.m. and I was like, I have to work. I get up at like 5. So I was like, I have to go to work soon. I have to get ready for work soon. Even though I was working from home, I was like, I have to at least get some sleep.
Still have to,
And I said, what can I do to make you better? Like, name it.
Yeah.
I want to eat Cheerios. And I said, anything but that. I'm not making you breakfast at 4 a.m. He's like, turn my light on. And I was like, you know what? You win.
That is hilarious.
So I turned it on and left. But it was just, it's been rough. I guess the geeky part of that, he's got a minion bed. Which is cool.
It is.
That's kind of geeky. But, it's been, I'm not a fan of this at all.
No, it's not a good phase.
No, I hate it. You know.
That's right.
So that's my story. How about you? Give me some good happy noises.
So Ryan did a sword clinic at Kung Fu on Saturday, and my husband drops her off, and her sensei hands her a sword. The sword is, and I sent you the picture. It's a great sword.
It's awesome.
Her eyes get huge. Like, this is the best thing ever.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah. And she's so enthusiastic, and she loves weaponry. So
hey, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
My favorite part of
off season.
The computer's like playing things. My favorite part of Taekwondo is weaponry. So I get it. Yeah. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah. So she's done the stick clinic, the fan clinic, and now the sword clinic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a blast. Also, kind of fun stuff with Rye is because she's in D&D group or D&D at school. Yesterday we're getting ready to go to the country. I'm like, so how was your day at school? Well, the Dragonborn decided to get naked for some reason, and then, right, because D&D club.
Is this real life?
No, it's in game.
I'm just saying, but that's like our game. That's identical.
Yeah, except for it was the elf that got naked. Okay, and the changeling that got naked because
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, it's like, and then the ranger got mad and shot him, and then they both got arrested, and I'm like,
you're like, this is us, and I'm concerned.
It is because both her game and our game last week had nudity, and the week before had nudity.
So how often do they play?
Every Tuesday.
Really?
Yes.
That's
and
exciting.
Of course, I'm the mom. I'm like, baby, if you'd like to play besides just at group, you're more than welcome to invite your group over to the house on the weekend.
Right. And she's probably like, oh, okay.
Oh no, but someday they're gonna take me up on it, and of course then I would be like, okay, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go upstairs and play D&D.
Yeah. You're like, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who runs the games there?
One of the players, one of the other
Really?
students. Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. But yeah, it just cracked me up with the Dragonborn got naked, and I'm like,
We've lived that. That's our lives.
we've lived that, which is very similar to the changeling decided that she was gonna scry, so she proceeded to strip down.
Yeah. Why things happen with nudity in our game, I'll never be
Well, I understand
privy
like
to that.
eventually with the mage game, because I know my character is fine with nudity. I know with werewolf it makes sense.
Because you're always shifting, yeah. It's
Probably.
like
However, I'm pretty sure Cass of my characters will be the prudy of the three.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. So I'm like, and then, sometimes you have to be naked to do magic.
Sometimes you think you have to be naked to do magic. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, sometimes it's not a requirement. Ahem. It's not a requirement in any system to be naked to do magic.
Yes, ma'am. Which one of my characters are you lecturing? Honey or Hades?
6 of them. 6. I'm saying. I love you. Don't worry.
Any character that name starts with an H and has 5 letters.
Yeah, that covers the bases I have.
Yeah. It's Honey and Hades.
So, yeah. But I'm so glad she gets to play.
Yeah, it is a blast. It is a blast. And kind of singing those dynamics form on other ends.
Yeah.
Through her experiencing them. Because I don't know, like, about you, but I would form friendships because, like, our characters were bonded. Our characters clicked.
Yeah.
So sometimes that would very much link to real friendships, and vice versa. Your characters sometimes become close because the players are friends.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that, actually. And it's like a weird thing. I know, like, when I used to play World of Darkness a long, long time ago, and I started playing with friends that were new to the game, and we all were. Well, you quit playing weird things, computer, like ads. I hate you.
Right.
So we all were new to the game.
Right.
And you get to the point where, you come into the game with your best friend, and you're like, this is amazing. And then your characters don't see eye to eye.
Uh-huh.
And you start to look at other people and go, I get what this person's thinking. I'm picking up what they're putting down. I'm going to be friends with them more. And it's not wrong. It's just kind of what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, definitely. Or when you first start, meet a new player, and you're like, or character, like you don't get along at all. Or like, why is that? But we're really good friends.
Yeah.
Like my husband and I.
What?
We never get along in game.
Are you serious?
Very rarely.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious. The last time our characters were even like slightly romantically linked in game, his character got killed because of it.
You caused the death of a character.
She may have been the king's adopted daughter, and there was a bloodletting ceremony. So
there's always a bloodletting ceremony.
So his blood ran through her veins, and then there was something where his character got in trouble, and she had to do some bloodletting, and that meant he had noble blood or royal blood and a claim to the throne. And yeah,
that's amazing.
It was an evil campaign. It was great.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I love when people die for no reason in games.
I don't, and now that you're my storyteller, this worries me. I know, you could have killed that party at any point.
I should have killed them.
Many times.
Many, many times.
Many times over.
Many, many times over. And I should.
I'm so glad that you're a kind and generous storyteller.
I have to be kind of generous somewhere in my life.
Right. And hey, you didn't kill the person that asked you to book a car reservation for you.
I thought about it. I yelled.
I would have too.
I was like yelling in my house. Like, who does that? Me, when I'm very angry and I'm working from home.
Yeah. Kind of bitch.
Yeah. I'll cut you, bitch.
And that's when you say, "Hey, man, I need you to learn how to do this soon."
I almost did. I was like, who can do this for me? Because I just don't want to do it. I was on a 2-hour call. When did they expect me to do it? They needed it for 1 o'clock. I found out at 10:30.
Oh, no.
And I was like, this doesn't work.
Yeah. And this episode, we're probably going to call Trey Cuts a bitch. Anyways.
Or punches him in the neck. I'm a real fan of that. It hurts.
Neck punch is good. Yeah.
It's like a right here. Not a trachea.
Yeah.
That kills.
Yeah, not here.
This just hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Trey punches a bitch.
News. Yes, we digress. What's in the news?
The new Punisher trailer
Oh, God.
looks awesome.
It does. And they use one beautifully. Oh, my God.
It looks gorgeous. Watch it. Live it. Learn it. Love it.
It's dark and bloody.
It is. And I like that. You know that.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. I mean, granted, I did not watch all of Daredevil, and I should. And I know I need to before I see this. I'm fine with that. But
it's so much better than that 1980s Dolph Lundgren Punisher that I totally didn't have a poster of Dolph Lundgren as a Punisher in my room at all.
I'm sure you did.
I certainly did.
Sure you did.
Anyway.
They're saying that it's going to be around middle November, they think, for the release. So we'll see.
Once they wrap it, I think once they get, once the buzz dies down from Stranger Things, I'm sure then the buzz will happen for Punisher.
Oh, I'm sure. So what about you for news?
So this was fun. Wednesday night, somebody tweeted Mark Hamill and said they were watching Monday night, that they were watching Monday Night Football. And, where's my The Last Jedi trailer? Because 2 years ago, the trailer came out with beginning of Monday Night Football.
Okay.
The first trailer. So Mark Hamill, in his typical, if you don't follow him on Twitter, you need to. He's hilarious. It's like, maybe you should watch Monday Night Football on October 9th for no reason at all.
So, it's coming.
October 9th, we get a trailer, most likely.
That's awesome.
Also, usually, after that trailer happens, tickets go on sale.
Will you be buying them the second they go on sale?
Yes, and I'm going to actually look ahead of time because with The Force Awakens, a friend of ours, Nicole, happened to message me like, I know we're getting them for, we're planning on going this day, but they're on sale now, a few hours before they're officially supposed to go on sale.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
We snagged those up real quick.
That's awesome.
They did not do the same thing with Rogue One, unfortunately. So yeah, I will be buying, and usually we can. This theater we go to has reserved seating.
Yeah, we have some of those out here too.
I love that.
Do you have D-Box?
So that way, I'm sorry?
Do you have a D-Box?
What is that?
You have to come out here and watch the Star Wars movie in D-Box.
We know this.
Okay? So D-Box, if you don't know what it is, there's a cinema here. And it gives you the experience of a lifetime. The seats move with the movie.
Oh my goodness.
We saw Rogue One in it.
That's awesome.
And Force Awakens in D-Box, yeah. Like when the planes that I don't know the names of are flying around.
I love you. It's okay.
Tee. When they're flying, thanks. When they're flying, you're like, whoosh, like this.
Oh my God.
Sometimes you have like a level of violence with it. Like,
yeah.
The first movie we saw D-Box was one of the Hobbits. I want to say the second one, maybe. Mm-hmm. And there's a point when an axe comes down, and I will never forget. It, like, lifted us up and then like slammed you down hard, and you're like, it's the best experience. It's a little more money, but the seats are reserved too.
Yeah, which is really important. I like that.
Mm-hmm. I want to get there late if I can.
Exactly. I want to go have dinner. I want to do that, and then go see a movie.
Yeah, and I have to rely on babysitters for a lot of the movies. Like, not for all of them, but for a lot of them, I don't want to take the kids to see. Like a 2 hour plus movie is just torturous for a 3-year-old.
No, especially with Logan.
Yeah. So I have to wait. I don't want to have my grandma come here 45 minutes before I even need to leave, so I can actually leave to get there and wait in line.
Stand in line, and especially something like Star Wars or Marvel or otherwise.
Yep.
You're gonna be standing in line unless you go somewhere with reserved seats,
yeah.
and not just an hour.
Yeah,
It's
long
gonna
time.
Be a few hours. I mean, I'm not. I'll camp out for movies. Well, I would now that we have reserved seating, so I won't.
Exactly. That's what I love about that.
Yeah.
So it feels less like going to a concert and trying to get into the front of a mosh pit and more like just going
Yes.
to a theater and having a nice time.
Exactly.
So I like that fact.
Yeah.
I also say we should meet in the middle and go to the Alamo in Austin.
Yes.
The Alamo Theater. We've been there. We used to live there. And we went to that theater so often. I was pregnant with Remy, and I got sick off the food. So, like, before the movie, they show clips of old movies. So we saw Predators, you know, the new remake there.
Right.
And they would show like, clips of the old Predator. They asked you trivia. Like, it was really interactive and really fun. They serve you food. They serve you drinks. They serve you dessert. They come to bring it to you. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, my girlfriend Jen and her husband Chris live out near Austin.
They should go there
So
if they have
we
never been.
they have. But yeah, I think we should go raid their place for a weekend.
Yeah, I just want to go see movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got really sick off their pesto chicken, so I will never eat pesto chicken again.
That makes me sad.
I had pesto chicken.
Pesto was delicious.
It was. I had pesto chicken, a huge thing of fries, and a chocolate milkshake at like 5 months pregnant in 102-degree weather.
Okay, that's okay. I was actually it sounds to me like it was possible the milkshake was the culprit.
Ice cream is never the culprit of being sick.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
Ice cream sometimes can have a bad reaction.
It was so bad. I was just sitting there. I was so sad. I'm just sitting there like the whole time like, this is the worst movie ever.
Oh.
I'm so sick.
A, you're not seeing aliens.
Well, true.
Yeah. And then B, you're 5 months pregnant and your stomach's upset and
It was bad.
yeah.
Which is also why I don't eat orange chicken anymore
I can see that.
from Panda Express because it made me sick one time.
I went for the longest time. I didn't eat chicken when I was pregnant. I didn't eat chicken because I was defrosting it one time in the microwave and it cooked it ever so slightly. And I went to cut it and the smell made me violently ill. So I went probably 5 months without eating any chicken.
It's hard.
Luckily at that point I did eat non-chicken meats. So I ate a lot of pork.
Yeah.
And roast beef sandwiches.
With Remy, I ate a ton of pizza. God, so much pizza.
Pizza's
I probably eat more pizza than I needed to in a lifetime. I don't eat pizza now, but God, I love my pizza. And I ate ramen, which is, my doctor would be like, that has a lot of salt.
It
I'm
does.
like, I know it does, but it was delicious
Yeah.
and cheap.
We need to look let's do some experimenting with real ramen recipes though.
Okay, we can do that. I have an
Yeah.
Instapot now, so I'm like fancy and culinary.
Yeah, no, let's play with some real ramen. That should be fun. Or we could just go to Austin and have ramen.
See, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
But we should probably play with real ramen and give people
Yeah.
recipes, ideas.
Yeah.
Which would be something neat to add to the show.
Yes, that's a good idea.
A recipe a week.
Write that down, Book Elf. I mean, Eddie.
Bill Elf writes it down. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's add that because I think you make the best recipes in the world.
I try, but thank you. You know, you're planning a lot, and you have some really good, healthy, delicious stuff.
I'm trying. Tonight we
You're
had,
trying.
what do we have? Ground
You're the
turkey with
goddess of plan
cabbage.
ahead.
I like to plan.
Mmm.
Ground turkey
Yeah.
and cabbage stir fry. It was delicious.
Yum. I have butter chicken going downstairs, and the naan is rising in the oven.
Delicious. See, she's
Yeah.
so fancy. She's so fancy she uses that Dutch oven thing.
I do.
And I like the buttons. I'm just like, okay, what thing can I push? Done.
I have one big Horde Red cooking pot, yes, because I'm a dirty hoardy. We can call it lipstick red.
Okay. And your room's Horde Red too, but I have not held that against you.
Yes, but technically it's because it's Diamondback's red because you can't see it, but there's Diamondback stuff all like the rest of the room is
Yeah.
Diamondback stuff. So
Okay, I forgive you.
it's Sedona red.
Oh, okay.
But it also worked for the Horde.
Okay, I'll forgive you.
Thank you, darling.
Of course.
The bathroom is Alliance Blue.
Okay, that's fine. My bathroom is too. Blue and brown.
Mine is blue, and there used to be some green. Oh, and and light green in the toilet area.
Yeah.
That's the next. Yeah.
Our like toilet and sink and tub are blue.
Yeah.
I think that's weird.
That is weird. So the actual toilet's blue?
Yeah.
That is strange.
Not like a dark blue, like a powder blue.
Yeah,
I'll take
yeah,
a picture and send it to you. You'll be like,
Who the hell designed that?
Not me.
Yeah, it came that way, I'm sure.
Yeah, it did. I designed this room and it's all purple. That's how you know I designed
Of course
it.
it is. Yes, because it's pretty.
It's beautiful. So we have a great discussion.
We did. So this was sent in by my friend Sky Beauty.
Thanks, Sky Beauty.
She's awesome. She's our guild mom. Every morning when I was at Nerdtacular, we went and had coffee together.
Aww.
Yeah, it was great.
Make sure you have caffeine. Very mommy.
Yeah. Before we kill somebody.
You have to. Or else you will.
Yeah. Because, caffeine is like medication. So the question is how to not correct your child while they're in game or enjoying other geekly pursuits, because we don't want to embarrass them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it really is.
That's a good one, because there's going to be the difference here. We have to draw the line of correcting them because they're doing something wrong. Like, say they're in Xbox Live and you always hear the little kids that are in there yelling swear words. Like, that's a definite correct and embarrass so they don't do that again kind of situation. Like when they're, everybody's heard this.
Yeah.
This like the
10-year-olds
that are like saying horrible things. And you're like, where did you hear that word? I don't think I said that till I was 25. Like,
right. And that's a pretty that's an action-based swear word as well.
Yeah.
And perhaps we should stick to general swear words and not ones that involve fellatio.
Yes, please don't say that.
Right.
Yeah, I've never unplugged headsets faster in my life until I've heard that.
Yeah.
But there's that kind of correcting, which to me, that is something that you have to do.
That's good parenting.
Yeah.
Until you can have the conversation about, hey, here's when it's okay to cuss, here's when it's not okay to cuss.
Yeah, when you're 10, it's usually not.
It's not okay to cuss.
It's usually not. You don't really get the whole aspect of it.
Right.
But to not correct them while in game or enjoying so you don't embarrass them. I mean, that's hard because you're a parent. You normally embarrass your kid, except for you because you're like an awesome parent.
Oh, no, I know. And I lose her at Target. I scream stretch marks if she's not paying attention to me.
That's so funny.
She gave me stretch marks. What am I going to say?
They do. It's rude. Just saying.
Right. And you have two, so one can be stretch and one can be marks.
Yeah.
They're lucky we're not calling them hemorrhoids.
We could. It's rude. And we would.
Yeah.
So how do you, like, you have an older kid that's more into this geek. How do you combat that?
Well, one of the good things is we kind of geek differently, which is good. She is very much, she loves console games.
Aw.
And I've never gotten into that aspect as much, even though I had an Atari when I was a kid. So, like one of the original ones. But she loves her Mario games. She loves her Zelda games. So we don't have that piece of it. In fact, when we play like Mario Party and like that, she's showing me how to play.
Right, which is good.
It is really neat. But when it comes to like the geekly, like she likes writing fan fiction.
Does she really?
Harry Potter. She loves Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yeah. So like if she wants me to read it, I don't say, "Hey, do you want me to read this?"
Right.
I will wait for her to ask me. And she'll ask me like, "Hey, Mom, do you know what what the class schedule's like at Hogwarts?" I'm like, "No, I don't actually. Let's see if there's any information." There isn't, but okay, let's look at an English school schedule and see how that's going to be.
Right.
So, it comes like that type of stuff. I wait to be asked because I don't want to embarrass her. I don't want to give criticism where she doesn't need it. She doesn't want it. And when it comes to like the not correcting, like kind of let them discover. It's like when they do homework.
Right.
You kind of have to let them make their own mistakes.
Right.
In life, you can go in there and you can say, "Here, let me fix it for you."
Right.
But that's no fun for them. And especially as they're learning how to play, if they're learning, because video games are great for motor skills.
They are.
They really are amazing for that. So I think as they're learning, wait for them to ask for help.
Yeah, and that works with video games and even like D&D. You know, if they're making their first character for the first time, let them try to do it on their own. Don't step in there and be like, well, this is what you should be doing. And don't take that skill. That's just dumb. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, when Ryan made her first character, she did a ranger.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what race she chose. But there wasn't any stats that worked with the ranger.
Right.
I think she might have done a Dragonborn Ranger, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So something with like no dex, no wisdom. So I'm like, why? Yeah, I'm like, this isn't gonna get. You know what though? If that's the concept you want, that's the concept you can play with.
Right. She's not min-maxing at that age. Like, she doesn't understand, like, oh, I want to be this, so I want to take this, so I get this. Like, that's what.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
Speak. Well, a little.
A little.
No, because changelings. Okay, so changelings needs dex and charisma, and that's pretty much what you need for a warlock. Anyways, mine just happened to work that when I wanted to play match the class.
Sure. Go ahead.
It did.
Okay.
It did. Dex and charisma for days.
But I think that's like one of those things. Like, you didn't sit there and be like, "Hey, listen, do this race instead because it's gonna be better for you."
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Or it's like when you're playing a video game with them, and Remy did till we took it away. But like she plays playing Roblox a lot, and she would get frustrated with it and try to make us play it, and then you beat it, and then. You know, like doing these stupid obstacle course levels. And you would watch her, and if you're sitting there watching, you're like, oh, she should probably do this. But you don't want to be like, no, you need to do it this way or do it that way. It's kind of like one of those things where they have to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
But you want them to learn to get on the correction of it. Like, you want them to learn and not keep repeating it. So if I keep seeing her jump on the same block over and over and over and over again, you might want to be like, oh, actually, why don't you try going this way instead of going, no, that's not the way to go. It's kind of like turning them a different direction gently.
But you're right. Yeah, giving advice and you have to resist the, give me that. Let me do this for you. Let me get you through this. No, because as a parent in life, that's not going to help. Yes, you're going to be there for them.
Right.
But you can't just say, give me that. Let me get you through this hard
It's
spot.
same with homework. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We used to battle for hours. I know my friend SJ is dealing with this as well with her son. Hours over spelling. And in fact, Will's a year older than Remy is. And she'd be like, I don't understand why there's so much homework all the time. And we had that too with spelling for Ryan. But she was an amazing speller at that age. Now she sucks because, I took over. The part of my brain took over.
Same.
But like she would at grade 2, she had appreciate as an extra word on a spelling test and got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but oh my God, it's so, it's rough.
I find it harder to not correct them to embarrass them while doing homework than I do with geeky stuff.
Yeah.
I think as a geek parent, you're more accepting of their geeky stuff and their geeky mistakes. And I want a Dragonborn Ranger, but that really doesn't work the way you want it to work. But okay, I understand your concept. It's good to explain.
It works for what you want.
Right. And there's ways to ask that. What are you looking for exactly? Okay, maybe you should try it this way, just as a suggestion. You don't have to. And instead of giving them like the one and only be all suggestion, you give them 3. Be like, okay, well, if you want to have a good character and you want to have higher stats than that, why don't you try it this way or this way or this way instead of giving them the answer that you would have picked immediately. That might help too.
Yeah. Or so look at not the symmetry. Words are hard.
Words are hard.
Anyway, that's a great idea. Yeah, give some options, turn them the right direction if they want to go that way. Otherwise, they can still have fun.
Yeah, I just I'm bad with teaching, especially with homework stuff. Like, I get frustrated easily.
Well,
and it's
also, you have
rough.
to be reminded yourself.
Yes.
You know, as I get older, like, I don't remember this.
And with Common Core math, I don't know it.
Yeah, because we learned it a very different way.
Right. So it's like a struggle to be like, I will never forget when they sent home a stupid word search to a kindergartner. And I was so angry because kindergartners don't understand. You find a letter, you spin around. You find a letter, you spin around. Does it match? No. I was so frustrated.
Find the most unusual letter in the word and look for that instead.
Thank you. I was so frustrated. But like, how do you not embarrass someone doing that? And even if it's in your own home, it's embarrassing. You don't want them to feel like they can't come to you for things.
And you don't want them to feel less intelligent.
Exactly. And Remy's starting to get more, like Logan's 3, he's not embarrassed. Like he came outside, we had a guy come in to look at our yard yesterday, and he came outside in his underwear. Like,
were they Minion underwear?
They were Paw Patrol, I think.
Okay.
So, you know, same level. And he came out in his underwear. Totally fine. Then, you know, Remy would, like nowadays, she would never do something like that. We wrote her a note on parent teacher night, and Drew signed, like, said something like, "Love you, pickle pants." And she goes, "Dad, I had to read that out loud to the class, and I was so,
that was so
embarrassed."
Cute.
She was embarrassed.
Cute.
Oh, cute, right?
Yeah,
and,
adorable.
And same with like Black and Gold Day. So we're the Steelers here, Missy, and we have Black and Gold.
That makes sense.
Black and Gold proud. And let's say it the right way. The Stillers. The Stillers. That's how we say it here.
Yeah, because I know in Pennsylvania there's very, very special ways to pronounce things.
Stillers. Batteries. Yeah.
I saw that.
It's true. I was like, I don't say things that way. And then I was like saying it out loud. I was like, oh my gosh, I do. Oh, I can't believe it. I didn't know we were like the only state that call ourselves by our initials either.
No, you're not.
See, that's what I thought too. I thought other states did that. And like this article's like people in PA only call themselves PA. They never say Pennsylvania. And I was like, it's just a really long word. Shut up.
No, we say AZ.
Okay, good. And you have a short word.
Yeah.
But so she was very embarrassed because she had no Steelers gear on.
Right.
Every kid in the class had Steelers gear but her. So we're starting, which is not true. Like, I highly doubt that's even remotely possible. But we're getting to that point where she's actually feeling embarrassed. So I think I'm getting more cognizant of that kind of situation, you know?
Definitely. That's good. And even if it's, you know, with the everyday stuff, and that's also kind of knowing ahead of time what they need. That's a whole different story.
Oh, it's a story we'll never know.
Besides, you know, Thursday at 8:30, they get out of bed. Oh, Mom, by the way, tomorrow's Red and Gold Day. Really?
I've said to her one time, because it was like last year, I was like, and it's time to go to school, so no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no other words. Yeah. So how to correct them, give them options.
And that's teaching them good life skills.
You're going to fail, and it's going to suck, and you suffer in silence.
But you should have planned ahead.
Now, that meeting you have at 8 o'clock in the morning, don't start the stuff at 7:45. Just don't do it.
That's why you have Matt now.
He can start at 4 o'clock the day before.
Yes. Lackeys.
Anyways,
I tease.
So what's your takeaway? Like, like I said, you have the older kid. I think this is more of like something you would have dealt with.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, just don't let them be afraid to have small failures, and let them learn for themselves. You know, not world-shattering failures, of course, but if they don't show up in a sports jersey when they tell you on their way to school, that's okay.
Yeah.
Let them kind of discover let them discover the thought process for themselves.
Right.
And obviously never go out of your way to embarrass them unless they separate from you at Target and you can't find them and they're not answering their phone, and then you scream stretch marks.
And then they come running.
Right, because they're hiding.
That's what kids do.
Yeah.
Like, or if they're bullying people online, like there's
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and that'd be a geeky thing, like, but that happens, and that might be something we could discuss sometime too. Is like, because that's something that's really big with geeks right now is online bullying and making friends, and we've discussed like how it's a real big thing with tabletopping.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, but I think that's all for our discussion.
Awesome.
That was a good one.
Thank you,
Good
Sky, for the question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Send more. Send more. We'd love questions. Until
All right.
October, which we will not take your questions. We are doing Halloween stuff. You'll suffer.
Okay.
You have one more week. Get your damn
more
question in.
And then
Halloween.
Halloween, month of Halloween. There'll be ghost stories and horror movies.
And Freddy Krueger sweaters.
And history lessons.
From you, Sam Hain. Whew.
Sam, man, goddamn you.
Got it out. Got it out. So
Sam Hain, it's a Celtic holiday. Anyways, now that I've given
Celtic.
and yeah, it's Celtic. Yeah, Sam Hain, it's a Celtic holiday. Kill me.
I'm gonna make a little gif of it. Like it's gonna say Sam Hain, Celtic holiday.
It's just me twitching.
She just like convulses on the floor.
What happened to your college trip? I don't know. We were just talking about Halloween. Okay, I called it Sam Hain because that's, the Celtic name for it, right?
Right. You went all crazy. Like your sound went nuts. What happened?
Yes.
Let's see here. Are you fixed? Okay, talk again. Because you went all crazy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Can
just
you
like
hear
fuzzier.
Do you want me to disconnect and reconnect?
We might
One
have
second,
to.
let me mute and unmute.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
You're like in a tunnel. It's like you went.
Okay, here. I'm gonna disconnect and just call me right back.
Okay. Oh no, guys. Oh no, gotta call her back.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's so much better. I don't know what
Awesome.
happened. Yay, we're back.
Who knows? All right. Anyways, yes, because I think there was a shortage because of Sam Hain.
Sam Hain and Celtic.
He's
Oops,
Celtic.
don't do it again.
Not. All right. So, because our last subject was albums we loved, and we need 5 more at least.
At least.
And remember, they can't be musicals.
They're not musicals. That was really hard again. I was like, I have like this one and this one and this one and take them off the list.
I think we should just do our own musical list.
We should. We'll do that next time. We'll do our top 5 favorite musicals.
Yeah.
And they might even match.
There might be some crossing.
Yeah. Okay, so go first. One album.
Okay. One album. All right. So I decided I actually made an effort to include at least a few albums from this century.
Makes sense.
It's weird that my buddy Mills keeps coming up because this is his fault. A few years ago, I'm at work. He sends me a YouTube link. Now, when this happens, it can be good or it can be bad. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's what the hell did you send me?
Yeah.
Listen to this. I actually feel really jealous that you're listening to this for the first time. Just trust me on this. It's a band called Metric.
Okay.
There are 2 albums of them that I really love. One's Fantasies. It's from 2009. The other is Synthetica from 2012. So I have a thing for female-fronted bands, but I also I like my female-fronted bands sometimes with a harder edge to them.
Okay.
Metric, Garbage, Lacuna Coil.
I do love Garbage.
It was hard not to put on. Lacuna Coil, Hailstorm, that kind of really pretty voice with some balls. So Metric is a female-fronted rock band. Their stuff is almost punk, very edgy, a bit vulgar, which is fun.
We love vulgar.
There's a song my particular favorite song from Fantasies. It's called "Give Me Sympathy," and it's one of my favorite. Expressions to use because the chorus is, "So give me sympathy. Who would you rather be? The Beatles or the Rolling Stones? You're gonna make mistakes, Come on, baby, play me. Here comes the sun." So basically, just the idea of, would you rather be around for a very short while and change every single thing as you know it, or have the longevity and have a slow burn kind of fade?
Right.
So, to me, that's such a cool line. The music's hard and punky and sexy and blatant, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was my buddy just saying, "Here, listen to this." This is also the same reason why I reread Fables and I read Saga, because of the same thing. He'll just drop stuff on my desk.
It's like, here, and you're like, oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Let's see here. So my first tonight is 10 Years, the band. People probably know them by the song Wasteland. And the song, the album I love of theirs is the Autumn Effect, and it is the Wasteland album. They're not really what I would normally listen to. They have their hard rock, but it's more alternative in a way. It's more pretty.
I'm going to have to check it out, because this sounds like a good blend between our interests.
Yes, it is. It's they have a lot of albums out, and the favorite is for me this one. They sort of tell a really beautiful story with everything that they're talking about. Everything. I have a lot of songs I can relate to, and I relate to songs easily based off like life things that are going on.
Experience. Yeah.
So I suggest their album. I suggest listening to it. It's beautiful. It's scary and it's sad at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I need to check my list real quick to make sure. Oh, good. I don't have any duplicates.
No dupes. I did that too earlier. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So my next one, and this is interesting. It's in the same time period that Metric happened. Here, listen to this. So 2 years ago, my buddy Mills. There's a lot of Mills in this episode, and there's a lot of Matt in this episode. Came to me and said, "Hey, I really want to play Vampire." I'm like, well, that's funny, because my buddy from childhood, Matt, and I are trying to figure out how we can game together. Let me see if you're willing to run something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't work out timing-wise, but the game we were planning took place in the 90s. And my character was a performer. So I got to get and this is something Matt and I were doing, we were trading 90s music back and forth.
Oh, okay.
And we decided that and because of this, we decided that her sound was trip hop, which is a really fun sound. And he sent me a link to the album Dummy by Portishead.
Okay. English
band, and she just has this sexy, gorgeous, low voice. But it's there's a good beat to it. There's electronic background, and some of the stuff sounds really old and scratchy, and and I remember them from the 90s, but it was more of like, oh, I remember this one song,
right?
Glory Box, which is just this beautiful, beautiful piece. So it was really kind of cool discovering something with a friend that you had a huge gap with between,
mm-hmm.
little kids and our 40s.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we missed discovering this together, so he introduced it to me.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's different than anything else around. And we ended up basing the character's sound off of that.
That's awesome.
And then one day I listened to it, because it's me, and I wrote like a 20-page character history.
Of course.
And I listened to it, and I'm like, every single song can relate to something that I put in there unintentionally.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Portishead Dummy. It's from 1994. It is sexy as hell. I love it. I need to send you a link at least to Glory Box.
I will listen. I will give it a listen.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
If you're thinking of Vampire too, this is not on my list, but there is a Vampire album that
mm-hmm.
The White Wolf people put out, the World Darkness creators put out.
Cool.
Yeah, look it up. It's neat. It's there's some songs I'm in love with
mm-hmm.
on the album, and then there's some songs I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. But it's very eclectic kind of group of music. It's like a song per each clan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'd recommend checking that out.
Yeah.
I'll find it and try to send it to you.
Please do.
Okay, so my second is not going to match anything.
But it makes sense from our conversation yesterday.
Yes. So yesterday, let's preface this. I was watching a video, and on YouTube now they play videos after you watch a video, or not YouTube, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it was All That Remains, which I didn't even know that band. All That Remains sings Thunder Rolls. Now, Thunder Rolls, I know it's what it's about.
It's a messed up
song. From
song.
my childhood, it's very it's a thing. Like, my grandpa listened to that song all the time. He listened to
mm-hmm.
all those songs all the time. So it's like really near and dear to me.
Yeah.
And I listened to their version, and I instantly thought I could punch them all in the necks.
So
Especially the female vocalist who for no reason was vocalizing in the middle of the chorus.
Because there was nothing. Okay, so like the instrumentation was so similar to the original.
Yes.
So there's nothing different on that end, but the vocals were just awful.
Awful.
It was painful.
Awful. It was only 30 seconds, and I was like, if I have to listen to any more of this, my ears will start bleeding.
You're gonna cut a bitch.
I'm gonna cut a bitch. In the end, though, Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places album, really near and dear. It's a good album.
Yeah.
In general, just like the songs on there, like you have the Friends in Low Places song, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun song. And then you have Thunder Rolls, which is a moody, bad song. And then you have like, just everything about it. It's just up and down. And I don't like any country, but I like that album. Just really, really love that album.
Yeah. Ireland's not on that album. I think it's on the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So that's my number 2. But don't listen to All That Remains with Thunder Rolls. You'll hate your life.
It's horrible. Oh my gosh. And I love covers.
Yeah, but that random vocalization ruined it for me.
And his screaming.
Yeah.
There's a place for Screamo, and that's not it.
Not in the Thunder Rolls.
No. All right, so mine's kind of obscure. There is a musician named Matthew Ebel. Okay. I know about him from CC Chapman's old Accident Hash podcast. So, one of the first podcasts I listened to, Matthew Ebel is a Boston-based geek pianist.
Okay.
And he's a hardcore geek. He's adorable as well. But he has several albums out. My favorite is one that's called The Lives of Dexter Peterson.
Okay.
This album's from 2012. He has a newer one out that I need to grab. But basically, the idea of it is he wakes up in a different body every day.
That is awesome.
It's very Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
And there is on this album, though, like the most beautiful love song you've never heard.
You have to send it.
Yeah, I will wait for you.
I need to hear this.
Like, and then it gets kind of cheesy on purpose because he puts like some of the instrumentation from Titanic, which is hilarious.
That's amazing.
But it's really beautiful, and like there's a song called "I Wish I Were." Talks about he wishes he was, Captain Picard. He wishes he was Malcolm Reynolds, and he wishes he was anybody that Harrison Ford's ever played. And there's a really neat song, These Wars We Fight, that just touches me as a parent. So yeah, it's a really cool album, and he's the sweetest guy. Like, I've tweeted out to him because he has another album, a Christmas album, and the 12 Days of Christmas there's a bit about 12 days of sushi, 12 plates of sushi, 12 plates of sushi.
That's delicious.
So we always go out for Christmas Eve day for sushi, and we go to the place that does you buy by the plate.
Yeah.
And our always aim is to get 12 plates of sushi.
That's amazing.
So like I'll then, like one year I took a picture and I said to him like, "Hey, look, it's Christmas Eve. Look what we're doing." And he responded to it, which was really cool.
That's awesome. I love when they do that.
He does cons, and and his music is cool and fun and clever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to listen to it.
Yeah.
So my 4th, it's probably no surprise.
No.
I did put a Korn one on here because I told myself I wasn't going to, because all of them are my favorite.
Yeah,
basically, like the top 10 albums of my life are Korn albums, and then the rest of these, right? Marilyn Manson, Mechanical Animals, just wow. I remember being like in 6th or 7th grade when that album came out, and people talking about how he removed his ribs to give himself fellatio.
Mm-hmm. My God.
And you're like, I mean, God, I was like young. I was like, oh my goodness, who would do such a thing? And you listen to The Beautiful People, and you listen to every song on that album, The Dope Show, and wow, they're such good songs. Yeah. They're good to this day. Like they're still impactful to this day.
And what's interesting about him is, even if you don't care for his music, he's a really interesting guy, and he's very intelligent
and very weird.
Very weird, but like genius level intelligence.
I mean, think about it. Marilyn Manson is a business model.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's not who he is. I mean,
Yeah.
is it? You don't know, but it's a business model. It's a frame of what made him famous. If he
Yeah.
didn't look like that
Yeah.
or dressed up like that, because he doesn't look like that at all.
No.
See Jawbreaker, circa whatever year that was, and he had sex with Rose McGowan, his wife, and he did not look like that.
Right.
But if you like that made him famous. People were talking about the music, but they were talking about what he looked like. They were talking about he probably is missing ribs. They were like that was in middle school.
Obviously, he's a kinky mother effer because look at him.
Yeah, that was like that is genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius marketer.
Yeah.
And I've seen him live, but only for 4 songs before the power went out.
Oh my God.
He's coming on Friday, and I really, really wish I was going to go see him.
Yeah.
Next Friday. He's going to be here. Genius. Love him.
Yeah.
Want to hug him.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
I just want to sit down and have a glass of wine and or coffee with him and talk.
That's it. I just want to talk to him. I think he'd be so interesting to talk to. Like, tell me about you.
Yeah. How'd you come up with this? How do you write? How do you get your sound? What influences you?
Right. And then, he's in a lot of movies lately. Like he's in this, is it The Martyr? I know I have it on my watch list. I want to watch it really bad because I just want to see him. Him acting is a whole different world.
Yeah. Good choice.
So, yeah. Thank you. Your turn. Fourth.
Okay. So mine's kind of fun. And it's very localized. In the 1990s, there was a Phoenix music sound, and it was predominantly the Gin Blossoms and the Refreshments.
I've heard of the Gin Blossoms.
And you've heard the Refreshments as well. You've heard Refreshments songs.
Oh, okay. I believe you.
Banditos is one that's fairly well known. The theme, and they do the theme from not Family Guy. It's one of the other ones. Hank Hill. Look, what show's that?
King of the Hill.
Yeah, so they do the theme from the King of the Hill.
Oh, okay.
So they are
I know that.
So the Refreshments, and they later became Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers. So back in the Refreshments, Big and Buzzy, Fizzy Fuzzy, Big and Buzzy was their first album. It was very college sounding, a lot about drinks and boobs and sex and all that. Their second album was The Bottle and Fresh Horses.
Okay.
And it's a lot more mature. It more defined the sound that they later got with the Peacemakers, because they made it big in Tempe. It's actually the Tempe sound is what it's called, which is the college town here. But Roger Clyne is from Tucson, which is very close to the Mexican border.
Okay.
So it's very much, it's 1990s alternative rock mixed in with a heavy Spanish influence, but an honest one.
Okay, makes sense.
Where you're putting in words because there's not the right word in English for it.
Right.
And where you're talking about this kind of cool, and they're almost country, this cool kind of cowboy soul. And songs about sorrow where, there's uno soda por favor. This guy, he's broken up with a woman, he's trying to drink her out. And then of course she comes back into the bar and he's like, yeah, I'll have that whiskey. No, he's not whiskey. I'm sorry. He's tequila.
Oh, okay.
But just like this really kind of cool, laid back intensity, if that makes any sense.
That makes yeah.
And it's neat because, like I said, the first album, it was very college. This kind of created their sound later on down, which they still carry on with the Peacemakers. Yeah, they're here to have fun, but it's really interesting and mature and multicultural without trying.
I like it. That's awesome. Good pick.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good pick. I skipped my number 3 and went to Marilyn
Manson.
Manson.
Go to your number 3.
3 Days Grace, their first album. So 3 Days Grace, they are a tricky one. Everybody knows I Hate Everything About You. Everybody knows It Just Like You. Everybody knows those kind of songs, but like the first album is very, very good, so I put that one on there. But the next 2 after that, before they broke up, because their lead singer isn't with them anymore, they're very good as well. Their sound is young. Their sound is punky / alternative rockish.
Okay.
But their lyrics are always very good.
So Fall Out Boy with better lyrics.
Yeah. Like they would never consider themselves punky, but like they are. Like they have these sound behind them that is not all rock.
Okay.
So I really enjoy that about them. The lyrics themselves are brilliant. They're masterpieces. There's a couple songs. Trust. It's called Drown, and it is just really, really good. And I use it a lot as inspiration for WOD because it's about like falling in trust with somebody and then them showing you how they're going to ruin you, and it works.
Wow.
It works in a WOD way for me.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of anti-happy music. I don't even want to say that because it's not happy. It's just like
it's moody.
It's moody, and it was so moody for that time period, and it's gotten more moodier. And the new bands, I think Santa Sozia is how you pronounce it, but that's where the lead singer went to, and we've seen them live, and he re-sings the songs from this album sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's so great because you're like, oh, look at that, just slap in the face of the rest of the band.
Right,
But
exactly.
if you haven't heard their first album, listen to it. It's very good.
Yeah, that sounds really wonderful.
Yes, and so this last one on your list, I actually have heard of them before, but I've never heard of them. That's the only one on your list I know.
Okay, yeah. Let me pull up the track list too. It was very hard just to keep ourselves to 5 albums each time. Especially this time we could actually plan too. Oh, for God's sakes. All right, so I am looking mine up. It is Florence and the Machine, the album Ceremonials. Florence and the Machine is a brand out of Britain. I want to say she's Welsh. You know.
Yeah.
Fae-like redhead, not pretty, but very stunning. You know, very unusual looking. Alternative, female-oriented alternative rock album came out this is her middle album, came out in 2011. And her stuff is very gothic.
Which makes sense with being Welsh. If she's
It does. It is. It's very gothic. It's very like. There's a song called Seven Devils. There's another song. How? There's a song that's very much about a werewolf.
So it mixes in with the like other other aspects.
Yeah.
Of mythology.
Yeah, very much. So it's very much you kind of get this. There's a bit of unseelie going on here.
Oh, unseelie.
Yeah, very, very much. There's another song. It's not on this album. That's basically about her lover makes coffins.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's very no lights. You know, it's very just. If you had to put her to like a character from Sandman, there's a little bit of despair in her.
Oh, I love it.
But a little bit of delirium as well.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell, but there's a lot of passion to it. All This in Heaven too. So it's very. Perhaps somebody that's going through the consistent heartbreak that Taylor Swift does, but handles it in a different way.
By not writing crying songs?
Exactly. More like writing FU songs, or here's how I'm dealing with this, or but yeah, just it's very raw.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a lot of feel of like spirituality to it, but that Celtic spirituality.
Right.
And the Celts are only happy when they're miserable. Much like the Garbage song, they're only I'm only happy
when it rains.
Right, exactly. The wild men of Ireland, the ones that God made man, their songs are their wars are so merry, their songs are so sad.
Right. I like it.
Yeah. So very much, and we saw her in concert with her last tour. And have you ever been sitting on the grass at a concert and you can feel the energy coming up through you?
Oh yeah.
And depending on the concert, it's almost like there's some summoning going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed the slaw didn't follow us. That's what that was. Had it been any closer to like Halloween, I would have expected Hearn the Hunter and the Wild Hunt right behind.
You might learn that story next month.
Sorry.
We're excited.
Do you mean in WAD or do you mean in okay, yeah, we should do that. We should talk about that story.
I do have WAD Halloween stuff that always comes up.
Oh, good.
That's how Al got boobs.
I thought that was too much fatty food.
Definitely me. So my last song.
Had to put it on there.
Had to put it on here. Only because it came up in conversation this week.
Yes.
I am going to come out and say it. I probably need a 12-step program.
Yeah, you do.
I enjoy albums 4 and 5 of ICP. I've said it. It's out.
Yes.
We can begin to heal.
But you don't want to heal.
I don't want to heal.
Much like an Irish person, you're happy in your madness.
I'm happy. I love the album, the Great Maleko album. Mm-hmm. It is fantastic. There is no good in that album. It is just dirty, rotten, fun songs. It's just fun. It's fun. And What is a Juggalo is not on that album. It's on the one after that. But what I like to do is when people say the word I like to try to prompt the word Juggalo in conversation.
I know you do. I fell for it.
You did. It was the best. It was the best.
Oh my God.
You don't know how I just do it. I'm very sly about this.
You are. It's amazing.
So somehow a Juggalo will be mentioned. And then I prompt with...
And then of course, the first time you did this, I'm like, well, it's a fan of... And then I completely fell for it.
Yeah.
I give you the 100%.
She gives like this like big, huge explanation of what is a Juggalo. And then I continue with the lyrics of the song, which I know off by heart. So and you just go, what? Like you put like a really good effort. You didn't link me a wiki. You were like really great about this.
Well, because that's rude. If someone asks you a question, you don't throw a wiki at them because there's a reason they're asking it the question.
Exactly.
And usually it's because they don't have time to look it up themselves or they're not in a place so they can look it up themselves.
Yes. And so I got Matt the other day.
Okay.
By the Juggalo comment as well. So I mentioned Juggalo. I said, what is a Juggalo? And Drew promptly writes in chat, don't fall for it. It's a trap. It is a trap. I'm going to get you. But Matt looks at me. He's like, you really don't know what a Juggalo is? And I was like, yes, what it is. Well, fuck if I know. He's like, but what? He's like, what? I'm like, what's a Juggalo? He's like, a Juggalo. I'm like, I'm down with the clown and I'm down for life, yo. And he's like, what? He's like, you know the song. I'm like, wait.
His cousin's a big Juggalo.
He told me about that and we were laughing about that.
Bobby is an obnoxiously.
And I'm not one. I just really enjoy that album. It is so bad. It's good.
Yeah.
It is so bad. Like, there's nothing appropriate about that album. Don't let your kids listen to it.
No. One of my buddies is from work is a huge Juggalo.
We need to. It's hilarious. Be a Juggalo.
Yeah. And we have a process at work that's called ICP. I can't remember what it stands for, and I accused them the second they named that process was going to be called. I'm like, are you sure you didn't name that? It's like, no, whoop whoop, it wasn't me.
So the Great Maleko came out in 1997. I was 11 years old.
I won't say you were 2.
The year I bought that album was 1998.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. My parents were my mom wasn't the only one letting me get away with inappropriate things.
God, I watched Cruel Intentions the year that came out too. I'm just saying.
You know, I can't say much because I saw SOB when I was 8 years old.
Really?
You see Julie Andrews' boobies.
Lots of
and
boobies.
there's a rape scene. I saw SOB in the theater with my parents at 8.
Oh.
It's amazing that we're as stable as we are, isn't it?
Cruel Intentions came out in 1999.
That's amazing.
13 years old.
13. Wow.
I own it on DVD. Inappropriate.
Terribly inappropriate, but at least you're like
a normal.
Yeah.
It got a 49% in Rotten Tomatoes. Have you not watched that film? It is a classic.
It really, you can stick it wherever you want. Anyway, I mean, I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, like not 1,000 times. It's not your guilty pleasure or anything.
Awesome.
So I think that's all we have for tonight. That was awesome
Yes.
and fun.
Yes.
And send us in one more question because this is the last question you're getting until after Halloween.
So that's the question, or we talk about cybersecurity. Those are our options.
You have
We're
two
happy to
choices.
talk about cybersecurity, but however, if not, send us a question.
Because we know a lot about cybersecurity between the two of us.
We do, and if we don't need a 2-hour show that's going to interest nobody but us.
No. Or we could talk about writing my term paper for my classes. You guys pick. We're going to talk about school, cybersecurity, or a question. So send a question because we have plans for all of October. And you're not getting a question set.
Yeah, no. Unless the question is, hey Trey, what's your favorite horror movie? Then that's an acceptable question.
Real horror movie or satire horror movie because there are two different genres we need to discuss.
This is why we're doing 2 horror movie shows.
God, I loved Scream so much when I was
Oh
younger.
my god. Yes.
Skeet Ulrich too. God, he was so hot. And the best line, I still use this line to this day, and we're divulging. I'm just gonna tell you, I still use that line when they say it's called tact. You f-rag. That is my favorite line ever made. I don't know why.
We need to use that often.
I do at work. Some people say something that's completely wrong because it's called tact. You fuck rag, and they're like, I'm like, Scream, circa end of 90s. I guess I shouldn't say that at work. Okay.
Well, there's certain things that you can say at work. I did tell you about the, hey, can you review this case for me? Hey, can you break into this church for me? Right?
I love it. Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's what happens when you work with people you game with.
That's a problem.
Now I have
that problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
I might need to get information from you about conversations if you'd like to share.
I have
If not,
lots.
that's okay.
I have lots. Can't
know
wait to
you
share. I've been busy. Let's not be busy.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get your minion trained and I'll get this class trained.
And then we'll be good.
So what I'm teaching them on is it's a process called sword.
That's amazing. You make so many fun innuendos.
So I start the intro yesterday. I'm like, so you're going to be doing sword. It's not near as fun as it sounds because there's no halberds, there's no longsword, there's no rapiers, there's no short swords. Because I like to figure out who the geeks are.
Did anybody laugh?
There were some laughs, and then at lunch yesterday, I was talking because we have to go out to lunch with them.
Of course.
And you know how like sometimes you can like meet someone in a room and you're like, okay, that's the geek, that's the geeky person. So I happen to be sitting next to her and we're talking, just talking about like our job and politics and all of that. And I'm like, and then there's space politics because we had some people talking about Eve the other day on our podcast and this and this. And he goes, yeah, I heard about that and this happened. I'm like, all right, you're my person.
You're like, I found a person. Thank you.
Yes, I found where my geek jokes are gonna fly.
Well, I'm going to say you're my person, and I love hosting this with you. And all you listening are our persons, too. We love you.
Yes.
And
send us
questions.
Or lipstick questions, too. We can definitely tell you where to find fun lipstick.
Exactly. All right, guys. We love you. Good night and kisses.
Good night.